There's Greg.
Hi,
everyone. Hey.
Hey.
Hi, everyone. Jim from Mystery and Mayhem. Welcome back to our first Friday live stream in like forever. And Greg was having a few technical difficulties there. Hopefully, how's it now, Greg?
I can see everyone.
Good.
Hear everyone, but I'm on my phone, so I can't see the comments.
Oh, well, we've got all the regular Rogues Gallery here, except minus a couple. Sean wasn't able to make it, and Deb's had something going on. So I've got Mark from Book Time with Elvis, Alan from Big Hard Books and Classics, Greg from Another Bibliophile Reads, and Randy Ray from The Literate Texan. Welcome, everybody.
Howdy, folks.
And I hope everyone's doing well. So yeah, it's been a while since we've been on. Like, how long have you been on hiatus, Mark? It's been since June, right?
I think since the end of June, something like that. I might have. I don't remember exactly, but certainly I was off pretty much the whole of July and most of August. Yeah, according to I'm just looking it up on BookTube, it says 2 months. That last video went out, so. Yeah.
And I think even then we hadn't really done a Friday live stream for a while before that.
That's true. So, I think it had been quite a while before then.
But like you said, when we were in the green room there, it feels like you never left, right?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it seems like the last live I did. Actually, the last live I did was Summer of Sport was one we did 2 months ago, and then I did one 3 months ago with Randy. So.
Yeah, and of course Randy and Alan did a live.
I can't hear any of you anymore.
Oh, can you hear us there, Greg?
All right, hold on.
Bizarre, because we hear him.
Yeah, that's odd.
Greg has left the building.
You said Randy and Alan did a live?
Yeah, you guys did a live the other day.
Impromptu live.
I didn't see that.
It's off the stuff. Forgive us.
Whose channel was that on then?
It was fun. It was on mine.
Huh.
Yeah, it was. Weird. You know, don't threaten me with a good time. I'll go live.
Right.
So yeah, we got a lot of views so far. Like 150 so far, just in a few days.
I enjoyed it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but
2 days ago. Huh. And well, I'm guessing probably if it was impromptu, it was probably like in the middle of the night or something for me, maybe.
Yeah, you were probably in bed by then.
Oh yeah, it was PM here for sure. 5 PM my time. 8.
I think a lot of it is too that everybody's busy during the summer. They got other stuff going on, so you don't get as many lives as you do, like starting in September through the winter months. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it just seems that like that would make sense to me. You know, summertime's busy for everybody.
It is. Have you noticed your views going down in the summer?
Well,
I did.
My views,
Mark, you did, of course, but
my views have been going down because I haven't been posting as often as I was in the beginning. You know, so that might have something to do with it.
My views go up when I don't post.
Oh. Do they?
Yeah, I don't. I stay silent for 2-3 days. I go out in subscribers too.
You know what I found? Like I did a couple of art posts. I did the Robert McGinnis Art of Robert McGinnis, and I did the Batman one, and they don't get as many views as when I do. You know, because people watch me because of books. So you know, you're going to get more views for them as opposed to for any art related.
I haven't seen your Batman one yet. It's on my watch later, though.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. You know, I saw Michael K. Vaughan's with his Superman one, and I said, man, I got to do that. And I had a lot of fun with it. I'm going to do more of them, more comic book related stuff.
I'm a fan of Batman, but I had a friend in Toledo, Ohio, who was a real fan of Batman. He was easily got to buy for present, birthday or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Batman stuff.
I used to have tons of memorabilia and collectible stuff And I got rid of it all over the years. Not all of it, but some of it.
Some of that might be worth something now.
Yeah, there's one big bust I had, like a big Batman bust, and I sold it years ago, and I wish I'd kept it. It would have been worth something now, Not that I care about the money, I just wish I had it, But I got rid of it. So anyway, I don't know, Mark. Do you want to start with what you've been up to?
Yeah. Well, I mean, most
You got some good news to share.
Yes, I moved. Tomorrow is the official last day of having my old apartment goes on. It's been taken over by somebody who's renovating it, which is good because it needs it. I mean, it was pretty, it was in quite poor shape when I took it on like 11 years ago, and of course, I never knew that I would be there that long, so I didn't really want to invest my own money in it as well. So it's nice that somebody's taking it on and going to do, because it's a nice old building, an old apartment. But yeah, no, I moved to the countryside. I'm living in the Eagle Mountains of Eastern Bohemia, in a village of 130 people.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's nice. I mean, it's so different though. It's so dark. I'm not used to that. The old apartment was right on the main street, so the street lights would be shining in all night, pretty much.
Oh.
Here, I went out once with Elvis about midnight, and the sky was just alive. Yeah, I mean, the stars were dancing around, and they seem so much closer as well. I felt I could reach out and touch them. Wow. And yeah, just surrounded by forests, mountains, fields, all that kind of stuff. It's nice.
Yeah, putting yourself under a different constellation. That's what I say when I travel. That's really cool.
You don't get any light pollution out there in the country. I kind of miss that. I've lived in the country a few times, and it's just beautiful. You don't get the city lights, and you can actually see the stars.
Well, I can show you the view outside my window, if you like. So it's literally just beautiful. Fields and whatever. So
nice.
Although walking with Elvis the other day, we came back and there was like a dead hare, one of the giant rabbits, the big rabbits, but it was headless. The whole thing I was thinking was, what on earth did this? Would a fox be big enough to rip a head off a hare? I was like, oh. So yeah, God. I know we have wolves here for sure, but I haven't hopefully haven't seen them. So
there's a story that writes itself, the case of the headless hare.
Well, if you don't show up after one hike, we'll know the wolves got you.
Well, that's it, isn't it? So yeah, but yeah, it's just nice fresh air, apart from obviously different insects that have caused this swelling in my hand. It's quite peaceful. So
yeah, horse flies are awful things.
Still a lot to do though, to be honest. I mean, I haven't got any tiling around the house, so it's just kind of rocks. The landscaping is still going on. I'm still waiting for some furniture to be delivered, but the kitchen's finished, bathroom's finished. One of the bedrooms is finished, so yeah.
Okay, how do you like the kitchen? I mean, kitchen to me is the most important room in the house. I mean, is it workable and a nice, comfy kitchen?
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. It's not
big island.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a room because it's all in one. Yeah. So it's all open plan. I have the kitchen, dining room, and living room all together. Right. So it's kind of like, let's say it's like a peninsula instead of an island, because the island does connect to a wall. But yeah, no, it's really good. I mean, it was built by a local carpenter, and I'm very impressed with what he's done. Actually, I have to say. So
nice. Well, we appreciated all the updates.
Most modern homes don't have a separate dining room anymore. It's really getting rather rare. I mean, the house that we have is, again, kitchen, big open space to a sunroom. That's it.
Well, I'm sitting in our dining room, but in front of me is our living room with a big window. So yeah, it's like one huge room, and there are kitchens off to the side here.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's. I think when it's all finished, of course, it will be good, but it will not all be finished at least for a year, I think, So
At least you're in. That's the important part.
Yeah, and it's perfectly comfortable. You know, I'm thinking like I'm not gonna have the terrace done until next spring. There's no point. We have very hard winters here. I'm gonna, you know, it's usable. You know, it's like sitting on, you know, you just have chairs on the gravel as opposed to, you know, on tiling or anything. I still need to have some stairs built to the loft. There's like a loft room up there, but again, I don't need it right now. And you know, because everything, of course, was over budget, as these things always are. So I need to recoup, you know, some money before I start, you know, spending.
Do you have a near neighbor? Do you have near?
Well, yeah, I do. There's two houses, two new ones as well, just behind me here.
Okay.
And unfortunately, out that window will be built another house. So I'm going to lose that view from this room. But luckily, my house is longer than their house is going to be. So at least from the kitchen through to the living room area, I'll still see the fields. But they will at the moment, I just open the front door and Elvis runs out into the field. In the future, he's going to run out and there's going to be a fence.
Nice.
So I'm only going to have to walk up the road, I don't know, 20 meters or something, and then I'm back on the fields again.
So how did Elvis adjust to the move?
Yeah, I mean, it took him almost 2 days to like decide that he could come in the house without having to be like, you know, coaxed in. But now he's just, you know, I say go home and he races to the door first and he barges in first in front of me or whatever. And yeah, so he's quite happy. This is technically the guest room, but I've been using it myself. So he's just sitting there on the bed amongst the boxes and stuff there. So
nice.
And he has nice fields to run in, doesn't he?
Oh, definitely, yeah, and the forests and everything, yeah. And there's some really nice ponds up the top there as well within the forest. I have to say, it is a really nice area.
Is he a swimming dog?
Not really, no. He jumps over puddles rather than into them. So.
Lou G is here. Hi, Lou.
Hey, Lou.
Hey, Lou.
Hello.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your video there. That long 58-day walk you took. That's quite an area, man. Honestly, beautiful.
Yeah, it is. So I was saying, I think if people, you know, it's not somewhere people think of visiting. You know, they always want to go to Prague, you know, the big city or whatever. But
well,
nice.
We're so used to everything being so overdeveloped now, and you hardly get any green space. Just to have all that wide open space and beautiful, huge forests, and I mean, amazing. That's a dream, eh?
Yeah, and I also think it's quite cool that, as I say, Poland, you know, the fact you can just go to another country for gas or for supermarket shopping and stuff. It's you know, it's kind of cool. So,
now they don't have strong border guards.
There's no border anymore. We have, you know, within the EU, it's open borders, and they're also in Schengen. So if you come from America, for example, you enter a Schengen country, you're good to visit all those countries within a certain amount of days, right? So there's no border checks anymore between Poland and Czech Republic, or Czech Republic and Germany, or France and Germany. Or you just drive through.
Just a sign saying you're now entering Poland, right?
Yeah, there are signs saying that. That's true. It does say "Welcome to Poland" still, and "Welcome to Czech
Thanks
Republic."
this way.
Yeah. But otherwise, there's no border checks, which is a bit challenging for me because, you know, I'm in a legal grey area at the moment. Of course, being British, you know, not being in the European Union. So I suppose in theory, you know, I'm kind of not necessarily maybe legally or at least properly entering these countries anymore. But, you know, I have my residency for here, and what else can I do, you know? So I don't know what. It's not like I can go hunting for a border guard when they don't exist, right? So
you said you've been there like 10 years. Was it 10 years?
It'd be 12 years in October. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, if we ever pull up stakes, we'll be out. We'll buy a house right there by you.
I'll tell you though, it's not. I mean, in the scheme of things as well, I don't think I feel for what I've got. I don't think it was big money, really. I mean, even though it was more than I wanted, I think you know,
in comparison to like here or elsewhere,
you know, you compare the quality as well. I mean, it's quite sturdy. I don't feel like it's going to blow down or whatever. And And also I will say a little bit that although I'm disappointed a little bit to be losing the view from this window when they build the next house, I'm also a little bit relieved because, when I go out late at night and stand there and it's so dark and there's the field and the shadow of the trees, I feel like the first house as anyone comes out of anywhere. So it's like, I want somebody to be my
you go like, yeah, that's a lot of responsibility now. You're homeowner, way out there by yourself. That's why I asked you about your neighbors and that.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, they're really close, the neighbors, really. It's
cool.
just, as I say, I'm the newest house in the village, and so there's nobody up there yet.
Have you met the neighbors? Do you get along with the neighbors?
Yeah. I was a bit shocked that I'm like the oldest one of the four houses.
Oh,
the oldest one to move in. Not by much. The guy who's building up here, he's 6 months younger than me, but the others are quite young. There's a house just on this side, and she's a hairdresser, and she did my hair for me on when was it? On Tuesday, Wednesday. So that was really convenient as well, So she moved in about 2 months ago, and then I think next week the house on this side there next to them, they're moving in too. They're also a young couple, but very nice as well. So luckily, and even the old villagers are really nice too. Yeah, but I don't always understand them. But you're waiting at the bus stop, and the old man walks up and he starts chatting to you or whatever, and you're like, oh yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So Lou says she loved your somewhat harrowing walk, Mark, that you took us on the other day. It was harrowing. We were worried for you watching that video.
I kind of enjoyed it in the end, though, I have to say. I mean, the relief, I didn't film it, but the relief I got when this other couple was walking. And again, I just, said hello, Dobry Den. And I just pointed, I said, Dobrzani, which is, the area. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, so.
Well, we were relieved to see the bench by the water there. Like, okay, there's a bench there. Civilization is nearby somewhere.
Yeah.
So how about you, Alan? What have you been up to?
Well, we finished Faulkner in August. I did this little painting for that.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, you sent that to me, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of pleased with it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I do that for like the end of Faulkner in August. We do that, and on Garbology. I've been doing a lot of reading. I started The Trees by Percival Everett because I just finished James like last week. So I started The Trees by him, and that's like crime. I've been in Mississippi all month. We read Sing Unburied Sing reread for me. We did this on an offshoot of Faulkner in August, and this is in Mississippi, and James, Mississippi, As I Lay Dying, Mississippi. I think I read something else in Mississippi, but I'm getting ready for September. Got my September books here, Vincent van Gogh. I didn't know he spoke 3 languages fluently. Yeah. And then we have a little secret. Kurt Vonnegut group has been going on for years, and we read quarterly. And now we're reading God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater. Reread for me.
It's interesting though, Alan. You held up the letters of Vincent van Gogh. I did a buddy read, or small group read recently, with Faith and Books and a few others, over when was it? June, I think. So.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it for Greg and Elizabeth's. What is it? Framed September.
Framed in September.
Framed in September, yeah. And then I'm finally, here at Big Hard Books and Classes, we're on the cutting edge of new releases. So Aaron Facer and I are buddy reading Wolf Hall. So yeah, I like this, and this is one of those nice printed book with good spacing and that, so I can read these really fast. And I'm looking forward to this. It's been on my shelf for years.
I keep meaning to read it.
You haven't read it either, huh?
It's okay. I mean, I did not. I liked it. I liked the second one, but they did not overwhelm me. Now, part of it is that I don't know a whole lot about Cromwell. I never studied him. So her interpretation of him is sort of lost on me.
Yeah.
I quite like him, actually. I always quite liked Cromwell. I never liked Thomas More, which seems to be the wrong way around. Usually they look at Cromwell as the baddie and Thomas More, of course, as the saint. But I was always more of a Thomas Cromwell man and a Thomas Cranmer man as well. So
I see Steve had a comment there. Always a bridesmaid, never a live stream invite. I could invite you, Steve, if you'd like.
yeah, forward the link if you want. Sure.
Yeah, I'm looking how to
If there
send
wants to
it.
join, why not?
I think just I can just forward it.
If he wants to come on. Because I kind of left it open for Sean. I wasn't too sure if he'd show up or not. But
I guess maybe Steve wasn't in the group, maybe.
no, I
Yeah,
would love to have you on, Steve, if you want to come on.
come on, Steve. But that bridesmaid comment, and then Mark was talking about Poland. When I was young, I had a lot of Polish friends. I went to a lot of Polish weddings, and they were a lot of fun, a lot of dancing, a lot of drinking. So I'm wondering, Mark, you got a nice setup, you got your dog in that, and maybe time for a Polish girlfriend or something.
Polish girlfriend, yeah, could do maybe. I guess I'm in that kind of nice zone where if I was to go on something like Tinder, it would be one of those cross-border things, because as I say,
long distance now, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. It's only over there. So
why not a Czech girlfriend then?
Oh, why not a Czech girlfriend? Could be Brazilian for all I care.
Right.
I think Poland sounded exotic.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously they are different, but there's also some similarities between the two countries. Yeah, I mean, it was quite funny actually because we passed. They just built a new McDonald's, right? And we stopped off there. We stopped off there for a coffee because, it always seemed like a place. The main border crossing, looked like a place that should always have had a McDonald's, right? And it had one. But it was just funny to me that the languages are kind of similar, but when the Czech people were in McDonald's, they were using the English option on the menu, which kind of, it's literally just across an imaginary line. Of course, the language has changed, and here you have people from one side of the imaginary line using English to order from the menu, and then of course the people on the other side are using their own language. It was kind of interesting. And then there was they have the same words but completely different meanings. So on the door to McDonald's, it had szukasz pracy, which in Polish means "Are you looking for work?" Yeah, but in Czech, if you don't mind me swearing on your channel, Jim, it actually means "fuck work."
Wow.
So you see, it's completely different. The same words.
I need a T-shirt like that.
Maybe it means you're looking to fuck work.
My question is, it's from Pulp Fiction. What are they? My favorite sandwich at McDonald's. I got to take a bus to McDonald's, by the way. There's minimum fast food in Portland. You got to search it out. But anyway, what do they call a quarter pounder with cheese?
A Royale with cheese.
Oh, that's what they call it, really?
Yeah, we don't know what the fuck the metric. We got the metric system. We don't know what the fuck a quarter pounder is. Yeah, that's it.
Hey, we got the metric system in Canada too. We still call it a quarter pounder.
In England as well. In England too.
Nope.
See, Randy's unfortunate because he's now moved himself further along the conversation. He was second.
Yeah, I was going clockwise.
Yeah.
Okay, Greg's up, I guess, huh?
Yeah, what about yourself there, Greg? I loved your video when you went to Philadelphia there, Greg. That was awesome.
It was really fascinating to go.
I was a little envious.
I don't think.
Yeah, it was great to meet Hannah and MJ. And as I said, it's like meeting MJ. She's exactly what you would expect watching her videos.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you really basically see what you get when you're sitting out there. And So I'm all in favor of that. I want to do another book crawl. I want to do about 1, maybe 2 a year somewhere. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
gotta think of places to
I'd
go.
love to get involved in something like that. You know,
Me too. If I had the money, I'd fly out.
I don't know of any local booktubers in my area. I'd have to go down, down to see you guys. Yeah, Randy and I were having a conversation the other day about going down to Texas for Howard Days next year, Robert E. Howard Days.
Oh, the Robert E. Howard days? Okay.
Yeah, June 6th, Randy.
It's the I believe it's the weekend following that. It's the second full weekend in June, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've been wanting to literally go down there for like years.
Isn't it
I've never been. Always wanted to.
beastly hot in June?
Oh yeah,
That's where he was born, though, right?
Cross-plant. Well, no, he was born
I
in
don't know if he
Brown.
was born there or not, but that was his home.
That's where he ended up. That's where he lived. But he was
He lived there for years.
Brownwood, I think.
So is MJ actually from Philadelphia then?
No. She doesn't say exactly what town. She just says she's near Scranton.
Well, that means nothing to me. Sorry, I don't know. where
Yeah,
Scranton-
it means little to me because I don't know Philadelphia. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's in-
Pennsylvania geography, all that well.
Oh, it's in Pennsylvania. Okay.
But no, she did say she's always lived in Pennsylvania, so
Right.
I don't think she's moved that far from where she grew up.
Steve, I sent you the link. You can join if you'd like to. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. Aaron said, "Hi, Aaron." Aaron says, "Great to see you all playing catch up on 2 times the speed."
Yeah.
And Lou
Mark
loves the
dropped
Wolf Hall trilogy,
Great.
and Steve's giving me heck for wanting to go to Texas voluntarily.
Yeah, so I like that a lot. Finished up Garbogist, or just about. I have one more story in the Garbology to read tomorrow, and then I'm going to be done.
Oh, I've been taking my time at it. I haven't finished it yet.
Me neither.
No. I've decided when I first started the month, I decided I want to read this all this month. So about 4 days, I had to read 2 stories a day. And I, usually pick some really short stories, and that's just like a story a day. And so I will be done in tomorrow, and it's really pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you like the monster stories, Greg? The monster, like the animal story.
The killer animal, actually, they have not been quite up to what I thought they would be. There's no real duds, but
I know you like killer animal story.
I do.
A good one.
The thing about this collection is I don't think there's a really outstanding story in the collection. I mean, you would go down classic horror or whatever, but most of them are decent. There's only one story which I felt it was ended on a pun. And I just didn't care for that one story. But the rest of them were at least decent to good.
Yeah, I still haven't read them all either. Here's mine and Jim's artwork from it.
Mine's censored.
Yeah.
I got censored. Oh, well.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It got in, which is awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah. So far, my favorite category, oddly enough, is just the crime category, which I guess for
surprise.
Yeah, surprise, right? But I do like monster stories too. But I was impressed with the crime category so far.
Those are good pictures, though. My camera was off. I had a phone call, but I saw the pictures from you both. They're pretty good. Very nice. But I do wonder how you feel like when you submit a story or artwork to actually something called Garbology, whether you have to try and make it a little bit garbagey or
Well, yeah, I the story I put in there, I wrote it before I knew about Garbology, and there's kind of the monster in it is kind of made up of garbage,
Mm-hmm.
but you'd have to read the story. But yeah, I adjusted a little bit for the anthology, just to make it kind of fit in a little better. But yeah.
I didn't read your story, Jim, and it has a real atmosphere to it. I really liked, and it took me back to I went back to my hometown of Toledo, Ohio, after being away for 30 years, and it's a road trip.
Cool. Yeah, it's kind of semi-autobiographical, because that's a little town called Swastika that I was reading about just outside Kirkland Lake. And that's that building I talked about and the hotel. Those are all real. So
like Ali has in the middle, he has these fake cigarette ads. they're related to read books. Like one at the bottom, warning: the Surgeon General has determined that trashy books are better for your health than smoking.
Yeah.
As a cowboy reading a trashy book.
What about smoking the trashy book?
One has Troy's name and one has Ollie's name, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
There's the other one. So a woman on the wing of a plane swims. So like the old school, those books. I still like you find books. I bet you all do, but Greg probably especially. You ever find those old ads for hotels? They've got phone numbers on them and
hotels. I've not seen hotels in a book.
Or what else do I find? I find airline tickets all the time. But yeah, those little tear off things.
Oh, you're just talking about not part of the book, but people just leaving a book.
No, I'm talking about both, I guess. At first I was talking about those tear off ads, if you're ever lucky enough to find those. But
yeah, those are usually book clubs or whatever. A couple of those.
I found ads for appliance stores and things like that from real old ones from the 50s and that.
So I know that Randy has some good news that some people might not be aware of.
Well, I don't know how many people that are tuned into this, followed my health related news or whatever, but I've been fighting cancer for the last couple of years. And it really kind of geared up over the last year and a half with the chemo, but I am in remission officially now. So
that's cool.
So that's kind of good news.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too, because, I'm the type of person who, was very irrational. So I assumed that as soon as I found out I was in remission, I'd feel better. But the nurse explained to me, you will feel better gradually as you get better. But chemo's no joke, man. There's a reason that I don't post videos more consistently, and that's it, man. I've been through the ringer health wise. I've been in the hospital 6 times this year.
Yeah.
But I'm very grateful. And the BookTube community has been a real, source of light and support during all this. I keep finding these videos, and I know it's just it's a pet peeve of mine, but I know this is clickbait kind of stuff. But you'll see stuff like the dark side of BookTube, or why everybody's leaving BookTube, and things like that. And it's like, well, it's all exaggeration. All the people I've met on BookTube have been just lovely.
Yeah.
Literally almost without exception, everybody I've met on BookTube has just been lovely. I mean, it's like any other group of people. There's some bad apples out there, but I don't feel this insane pressure to read 24 books a month or anything like that. And everybody's been really kind and sweet to me. Almost everybody. There's one commenter who's trolling me, but they're easy enough.
Well, it makes me wonder, people who troll on BookTube, it makes me wonder if they're actual book readers. I find people who read books are fairly decent people, kind people, and that's why the community is so great, And I saw your video on the bright side of BookTube. I mean, it was awesome, Yeah.
Well, it's something actually, I don't know if he's still watching it or not, but it's something Steve Donahue and I have discussed multiple times now, is that, it's just a marketing tactic. It's a hope to get more clicks on your channel.
Yeah.
And it works. But I mean, are those the clicks that you want on your channel? You know, do I really want people coming over to check out my channel to see the dark side of BookTube? You know,
Yeah.
probably not.
I kind of regretted in my last video. I kind of maybe gave like the wrong impression that I was like super upset by this personal comment I got. The problem is, you know, I knew the person who did it, and I knew it was kind of in, you know, in a particular spirit. But I think at the time, you know, I was stressed, so I was like, you know, that I just don't need that crap. But I wasn't particularly upset, but I felt so. As you were saying, like the bright side of BookTube, I just felt so. What's the word? Humbled by all these lovely comments and, you know, people defending me, and I felt pretty bad for the person who made the comment that, in quotes, upset me, because they kind of like, you know, kind of a little bit attacked them a little bit, right? And yeah, I just, as I said, it was just, you know, I just didn't need that crap. That's all, really. So yeah, I didn't need to like.
So
I used to have a bit of a troll. You remember Chris Beveridge, Alan?
Yes,
He's still around. I've seen him on other people's videos.
I've never seen him. I mean, he just put really bizarre. He used to come to our live show, and he'd like put in quotes from rock and roll songs in the comments
apropos to nothing,
for no reason.
for no reason, and
not only, but like just real obscure comments of that. Hey,
Really?
I'd be remiss if I wouldn't say Randy's going to be on the show in 2 weeks. When Greg
nice.
comes back. So,
wait a
Quite
second.
a
I
watch.
thought Randy was this Monday.
no, I thought you were on your trip.
No, I'm here next. I'm off
Oh yeah,
Monday the 2nd, and I'm off on my cruise the 9th.
yeah. So Randy's on next week.
Are you available, Randy?
Yes.
Okay.
I was available on the date y'all had me penciled in before. I had it on my calendar, and then one day it was like, oh.
Yeah, we
Well, you know, it's funny. Yeah, the whole illness thing has been really interesting, but yeah, I'm real grateful to be back and producing content again.
What happens with that, Randy? You know, when you get into remission, how long? I'm assuming you have to have checks every 6 months or 3 months.
Well, the type of cancer that I have is called multiple myeloma, which is relatively rare. It's not the rarest cancer in the world, but it is rare. It is incurable, and it is inevitably fatal if something else doesn't get me first. But basically, the way it works is that you know, there are multiple treatments for it now. Eventually, the treatment always stops working, and eventually, there's always a relapse. I go in once a month now for blood work, and there's a pill that I take that I used to take every day, but now I'll be taking 3 weeks out of 4.
Okay.
So I'll get a week off, and then the infusions that I was getting, the traditional chemo that you get, you know, through your port, I won't be getting those at all anymore. And that will just last as long as it lasts. You know, there's no predicting it. You know, it could last for a couple of months, or you know, some people, you know, the treatment will last for 9 or 10 years. So,
Did you have to adjust your diet and that kind of thing, like adjust other aspects of your
there's
lifestyle?
been no discussion with my cancer team about adjusting my diet at all. Yeah. Although I have had issues with my diet. You know, I've got issues with my digestive system, but you know, it doesn't seem to matter what I eat. The digestive system, you know, either fixes itself or it doesn't.
You lost a lot of weight, didn't you?
I've lost over 120 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is weight that I needed to lose. I mean, I'm not complaining about losing all the weight. You know, the method of losing it wasn't a lot of fun. I'm not, you know, I've lost upwards of 100 pounds before, but in the past, it's been part of a physique transformation project where, you know, I was working out with weights and getting stronger and exercising at the same time. This has not been the case. You know, you guys just see me on screen doing camera stuff, but I'm using a walker to get around the house because I'm really weak. And yeah, I've got a gig where I'm playing guitar and singing at the end of the month, but I'm doing physical therapy to try to get ready for that because I want to be able to get to and from and off and on the stage without too much hassle.
Well,
Yeah.
you're a lot bigger than people think. Like I learned that Randy has size 16 shoe.
I wear a size 16 quadruple wide. Yes, I have very big feet.
Like Shaq size.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of the women are really thrilled to find that out about me.
I was going to say it's starting to become clear why you're so popular with the ladies.
Well, they start to wonder if personality's all he's got. It's like, oh no, he's got these great big old shoes too.
I'm going to go through some comments here. I see Debs is here.
Yeah,
And MJ is here.
MJ.
Hey.
I knew she'd be here.
Yeah, glad to see you.
And
And then everybody's congratulating
Oh, yeah.
Randy on the news.
Hey, somebody should invite Steve.
I have, and Mark has, but he's not getting back.
well, I
So,
showed
yeah.
that Faulkner stuff. I probably drove him away. He doesn't
Well,
like Faulkner.
I'm sure he's busy. I'm sure he just said, that whole
Yeah.
bridesmaid thing just to make us feel bad.
That's it.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, because
But,
when you said
Aaron-
you had a what do you call it, a troll, Randy? I wondered if you meant Steve, but
No. There's a troll. There's a thread over at there was a video by the philosophy guy, Jared Henderson, where he's talking about how he had to leave his corporate job. And I mentioned in the comments, I left my corporate job almost 20 years ago. And the best thing ever happened to me was going to work for myself. And there's somebody in there that's just bound and determined to find out exactly what it is I do for a living. Even though I've already explained in the comments, I do internet marketing consulting and build websites. Even though I've already answered the question, they want me to get into granular detail with them. And it's like, fuck
like
off,
none-
man.
None
Yeah.
your business.
on your business.
About once a week, though, they'll go back in and post. Why don't you just tell us what it is you do for a living? It's like, man, why don't you go find somebody else to bother?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Frankly, lately I don't do a whole lot of work at all because I've been too sick to work.
Right. Yeah.
What have you been reading, Randy?
Oh God. I've had a really great reading month. I read Dinner at the Homesick Restaurant by Ann Tyler, which was lovely. If you like Ann Tyler, you'll probably like it a lot. If you don't like Ann Tyler, you won't like it.
She's funny.
I read If I Never Get Back was a lot of fun. I read it for Summer of Sport. It's a time travel novel. Guy travels back to 1869 and winds up playing professional baseball for the Cincinnati Red Stockings. And it's written by a history professor, so it's really it's really a combination of historical fiction and time travel and baseball. And it was great. I also read a book called As Time Goes By, a Casablanca novel, which is both a prequel and a sequel to the movie Casablanca, and it's surprisingly good. I did not expect it to be good.
I love that movie.
Read a couple books from Summer of Trek. I read Spectre, which is part of the Shatnerverse series. And I read The Genesis Wave, the first book in the Genesis Wave series. And those were both really a treat. I'm in the middle of Larry McMurtry's memoir about being a book collector and a book salesman. It's called Books. And it's not particularly good. A lot of really short anecdotes about people you've never heard of. But even bad McMurtry's better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick.
Is it more like his writing buddies or like Hollywood stuff?
No, it's about his career as a book salesman and a book scout. Larry McMurtry owns some of the biggest antiquarian bookstores in the country.
Oh yeah, I tell the story about his Mesa, Arizona bookstore a lot, but yeah. But it's kind of dry.
At one point, well, it's not necessarily that it's dry. It's just that it's got a very limited audience because most people outside of the book collecting community aren't going to know who these people are or why they're interesting.
I got a question for you guys because probably you might have read him or you know more about him. I never seem to see anything positive. But is it James Patterson or Pattinson? Patterson?
Patterson.
Old stuff.
Well, the reason why, because I subscribe to these book ebook is it ebook aggregators or whatever where they send you the deals, and that made me think of all of you, and I thought the premise sounded like really good. It was a detective agency, that was opened by Sherlock Holmes, Miss Marple, and Edgar Allan Poe. I don't know how all that works together, but I thought that could be good. Maybe.
I saw the ad for that.
But he didn't write it.
No, it's with somebody. It says James Patterson and Brian. Somebody.
I don't think he's wrote a book in 20 freaking years.
He just lends his name and maybe a general idea.
Yeah. But that's not an original idea, Mark. I've got a couple books on my shelf that do the same thing, you know, share these other characters and so
I want to read that.
He jumped on a wagon.
Holmes one for next year.
Which one, Alan?
Houdini and Sherlock Holmes. I forget who wrote it. I've got it in my notes somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of pastiches I want to read. A lot of I really that's one of the best events that I did like this year. The Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I had fun with that.
Learned a lot. I really enjoyed that one.
And Dr. November's round the corner.
It is. I was about to ask Mark. We're doing Dr. November again, right?
Yeah, but with the wider parameters. Or
any espionage fiction.
Yeah. Well, there's an event coming. I don't know if it's been announced, but there is an event coming in September called Red September, which is more about communism, post-communism, and all this kind of stuff. I don't know the full parameters of that event, but yeah, I think Dr. November will be just any kind of espionage, whatever, even if it's fantasy or science fiction, as long as there's like espionage in it. I think it'll be be good fun.
Yeah. And occult October's coming up.
I know. I've forgotten all about it, and I got a Voxer message saying, "Oh, got to get up my occult detective stuff."
Yeah, that kind of brings me full circle because that's like the first event I did, reading event after I started my channel. Was that one? So I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Wonder if MJ's working on any occult detective stories. She published an article. She published an article.
She published an article in.
Occult Detective magazine. She had an article.
She did. I don't know where my
I'm still saving your story, MJ. I've got it bookmarked, but I like when I get to the end of a good book, it takes me longer to read like the last 50 pages than it does the first. But go ahead, Greg.
Oh no, I was looking for the occult detective thing.
Yeah, she's answered in the comments just now.
Yeah, let me show Aaron's. Not sharing every aspect of your life on the internet. How very dare you, Randy?
Yeah, Randy.
And then MJ said, "Not yet, but one day, Alan. Occult detectives are a favorite of mine."
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And we are going to do Sherlock Holmes again in February, right?
Yeah.
This is where the heart is.
You'll appreciate that, Jim, because I've got now, if you can see just below my shoulder, it's quite dark, but I'm now up to date with those new Green Penguins.
Oh, nice. Those are nice paperbacks.
They brought new ones out in June, so I'm up to date.
Yeah.
Some interesting looking ones, definitely. The thing is, I keep putting them off, and I don't know, I don't know if any of you have, I suppose maybe Randy, Jim, you haven't been on super long, but if you, I found when I took a break, it is ridiculous when people do say, okay, yeah, I feel like it's a part, like a bit of a job and a chore, and but there is an element where you do kind of, or at least I kind of throw myself in too many events, and then I feel, it's my own fault, but I start to feel overwhelmed. And and what was interesting was I barely looked at, I didn't look at any statistics at all, because I wasn't making any videos. Didn't care. So the YouTube studio was unused, didn't look. And it actually was a bit of a relief. And also not to think about literally just picking up a book and reading it without having to maybe announce it or, to find out who else wants to do. There was a little bit of freedom in that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, social media in general, it would just be nice to get off everything. I think it would be such a relief, But But I found that I really haven't been reading the stuff that I want to read. Like so many mysteries and books I have that I want to read, and you just get so wound up with reading events that you really don't get to the books you want to read.
I think it's because you feel that, like, especially with some of the events, you feel like, now I feel I should read this book, or I have been wanting to read this book for so long. Now someone's doing it, it's kind of thrust upon you. So you want to do it, but maybe you're not actually in the mood or ready for it. And that kind of, it's like, I don't know if we're still doing it, Jim, but I wouldn't mind getting a Vanity Fair, wasn't it?
Vanity Fair, or it was Vanity Fair. Yeah.
I'm thinking, maybe end of September and through October, maybe.
I would love to. I mean, that's one that's been waiting there to read, and I know you said you wanted to do it as a buddy read with somebody else too. I forget who the other person.
Yeah, Sonia. I think one of the commenters, Sonia. She also. So we can try it open, see who wants to do it.
What I found also is, like, when Shorty September came out, they had like 12 prompts. I just said, I'm picking out the short books that I really want to read. And if they fit a prompt, they fit a prompt. If they don't, I'm not going to care. Because I don't want to pick out a book just to fit a prompt when there's this other book that I actually want to read before that one. So, but a lot of these things you can sort of fake it and shove them in the prompt.
Sure.
Yeah.
Victober's coming up. I've been trying to read North and South for about 3 years, every Victober. Even tried to buddy read it with Brian at Bookish last year, and he read it and loved it.
Alan, sometimes a book doesn't work for you. Like when I was trying to read As I Lay Dying this month, it just wasn't working for me.
I thought you were just busy with Garbage.
I don't know about you guys, but soon as I make a planned like TBR, I lose interest in those books. Right? I know some like Michael K. Vaughan will follow a plan. And like soon as I do that, I lose interest in them and I don't want to read them. And I've tried multiple times, and I said, no, I'm a mood reader, and I just have to accept that fact.
Well, it's like Mike and I were going to read Middlemarch this year, and we both ended up quite busy. We rescheduled. We put it on the back burner. I'm not going to lie, there was part of me that was like a little bit relieved.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wanted to read with Mike, but it was like, I don't know, maybe I'm not ready. And it's like seeing North and South there. I was just like, it's a big yawn from me, Alan, with that one. But it's a boring world if we all like the same things, I think.
Yeah, I want to reread Middlemarch. It's on my bucket list, and
I've read it once, and I don't want to read it twice.
I read it once in school, and vaguely remember it.
MJ says
I'm going to reread Les Miserables next year. I think January probably again.
You really enjoyed that.
Really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I got a nice 2-volume. I got a nice 2-volume set of War and Peace. I think I showed you, Mark, in Voxer, but the nice 2-volume paperback set. I want to read that one day.
Yeah, I've read that.
I'm thinking of trying to get Anna Karenina. Sorry, Alan.
Go ahead.
Anna
Karenina may be done in December. Maybe.
Yeah, I like that too. I've got those up there.
Well, the only event burnout I don't have is for Occult Detective October. Just saying. Since FG is in the chat, I won't get burned out for that one. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm going to do a few comments here. Aaron says, Dr. November does sound good, and Occult sounds good for autumn. I've had Dresden Files, I'm imagining, in and out of the radar for years. Yeah. And MJ says that's a great pick. And Aaron says, good to know you enjoyed it, MJ. Another long series, though. Yeah, but hey, can always give the first one a go. And mood reading is where it's at. That's right, man. I can't do a TBR. I tried, and I just can't stick to it. Aaron says, finished As I Lay Dying today, still mulling it over.
Indeed.
Yeah, Aaron, I've only attempted the first one. It's a massive series. I'm not aware of that one.
I think he's talking about the Harry Dresden series.
Oh, okay, from Dresden Files. That makes sense.
Yeah, I read the first one and kind of liked it, and then I read the second one in the series, and I swear that the author just cut and paste like vampire for werewolf out of it, and
I
shoved some things, shuffled some scenes about, and you're basically reading the same book again.
Yeah.
And
I read one and I wasn't impressed with it. It just didn't grab me at all. Just seemed, I don't know, derivative maybe. I don't know. It just didn't impress me. But maybe I should give it another chance.
Well,
Try a couple more. I don't know.
You know, I have a recommendation.
Love the series, and he says, "Oh, you got to give it up to book 5, and then it really takes off." And I'm going, like, you really want me to read 5 books for it to take off?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It is.
I actually have a recommendation. If you like the kind of urban fantasy Harry Dresden kind of thing, but it kind of leaves you cold, there's an alternative called Sandman Slim by Richard Cadre. 15-book series, and it's a lot more hard-boiled and gritty.
What's it called? Sandman
and better.
Slim?
Sandman Slim is the first book in the series. The main character his name is Sandman Slim. I can't remember what his real name is, but he's part of a coven of wizards and warlocks, and he winds up in hell, but he's not killed. He's just sent to hell. And while he's in hell, he becomes a hitman for the various demons who are trying to, jockey for position there. And he's also a gladiator in hell. But he manages to get back to Earth so he can track down the people who sent him to hell in the first place and get revenge on them.
That sounds cool. I'm good with
It's really terrific urban fantasy. It's really well written.
Okay, I'm looking at it right
Not
now.
the kind of thing I would normally read or recommend, but it was so well done that, I always try to recommend that to people who like the Dresden Files or who want to like the Dresden Files but just can't because it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Has anyone read
Sandman Slim?
Rivers of London?
Free on Audible right now, if you remember.
There you go.
So yeah, I think you just picked one of my books for Occult Detective October.
Well, I'll be curious to hear what you think of it. I think you're going to like it.
All right.
Has anyone read the Rivers of London series?
I've read the first one when it first came out.
I've heard Gareth talk about it, and MJ, I think.
Because there's another series. It's not a series. It's like 5 books or maybe 6 books. But I never seem to meet anyone else who read them. They're not really occult detective, but they are occult. And it's
what's it called? Rivers of something. Mark?
Rivers of London.
Rivers of London.
It's a series, right?
That's a series, but the one I'm mentioning now, it's a Russian one. It's called the Night Watch series.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Day Watch and the Night Watch,
and then the Twilight Watch and the Dawn Watch, or it went on for about 5 or 6 books, and I loved it. And I don't normally like
those
that
go way back.
Yeah, late 90s, I think the first one. But they were dark, gritty, set in Moscow. I think one was set in Prague, and they were excellent, like really good. I couldn't put them down.
I remember them.
I need something new to read for Occult Detective October now.
Midnight Riot, Rivers of London, Book 1 by Ben Aronovich is also free on Audible.
There you go. Yeah, I think he's got I think there are quite a few books in that series now.
Urban, it got really long. I came to the first one through a review that I read in the magazine of fantasy and science fiction. I like the book reviewer there. I can't remember his name right offhand, but he gave it high marks, and so I got it and read it.
Yeah.
What is that guy's name? It'll come to me after we hang up, I'm sure.
So MJ is skimming the events in September. There's so many events now, eh? Genre books, hey? He's showing up.
Hey.
How you doing? MJ says, hey there. And she says, I'm such a non-committal series person.
Right.
No, Gareth talks about Rivers of London a lot. And I've considered it too, once I heard him talking about it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see how many books there are in the series, because there's quite a lot now, I think.
I've seen that Night Watch series a couple times, and I've almost picked Day Watch and Night Watch up.
I have it on my Kindle.
Oh yeah.
Would you consider it Occult Detective, Mark? Or is it just...
Yes, I don't know. Yeah, I guess because there are murders in it and they're investigating it. I mean, the whole premise is really great. So like all starts off with this big battle between like the forces of darkness and the forces of light, and they realize that they can't ever really win. So they have this truce, and then a lot of the people in it can be kind of immortal. So it fast forwards to like modern day Moscow, and they have their separate kind of like ministries or like areas, and they police each other. So like to keep the balance. So like the good people can only do so much good, and if they overdo their goodness, the dark forces are allowed to do something dark to bring balance back. Yeah, but then as I say, there are a series of murders which bring the two groups having to work together and do stuff. I don't know. It is very good. The films, they made 2 films of it, were really weird, like really weird kind of Russian. But the books, yeah.
I think I've seen scenes from the movies too. Yeah, they're typical Russian kind of weird stuff.
A lot of weirdness, but the book, it's all quite. I don't know how to say it really, but it involves like this kind of third or whatever, fourth, fifth dimension called the Twilight, where only these people called the Others, as I say, Dark Ones, and like they can look through it, they can move through it, they can, you've got shapeshifters, you've got vampires, magicians, wizards, whatever. But it's but they're all kind of normal Russians as well. But they're all over the world because in a couple of them they travel to like Prague, Edinburgh. Yeah, there's a big murder in the Edinburgh dungeons that they investigate. So yeah, I guess it is a cult detective. Why not? Yeah,
I like the sounds of that. Yeah, I love stories about balance like that. Like Michael Moorcock, Law and Chaos. And they're in perpetual battle with one another. I like that idea.
Well, they can never see. The problem is they have to work with the dark side, and of course they know they can't fully trust them. So even when they give something away because they know it's the right thing to do to like solve the mystery or help people, it always generally results in them having to like issue like an extra vampire license, which means of course somebody's a hunting license, which means of course one innocent person's probably going to die in Moscow that night, right? That kind of stuff. So it's weird, but it's very well done. Well done. And there's another interesting series I saw called Rather Weird. I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
What's it called?
Rather Weird.
Rather weird?
Yeah, I can't remember. It's something to do with it. Like it's like a town or a place in England, and it kind of becomes independent, and it's a bit kind of mythical, and people never talk about the past, and then all this kind of stuff. But
no, I don't know. I'm trying to get the rather what?
Rother,
like
weird.
other, but with an R on the front.
Yeah, rather weird. One word.
Rather weird. All right.
I'm a little disappointed nobody's mentioned my T-shirt.
I want to co-host MJ.
Yeah. Cool.
That's I bought a couple T-shirts from Mitch O'Connell Art. He's on Instagram, and I bought a couple for my wife too. They're just retro, kitschy artwork. I love his stuff, and that's a Batman T-shirt, so I figured it was appropriate.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So MJ says if anyone else would like to co-host, give me a shout and I'll add you to the Voxer group.
Well, so I want to co-host.
She asked me this morning if I would co-host for Occult Detective October 2. I was so happy she did that. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I would love to co-host.
Don't threaten me with a good time, but you can add me to the Voxer group. I don't have to have the title co-host, but yeah, I want to be interested. I'd be remiss if I don't mention October as well. It's our 3rd annual. We just read we don't really have a schedule or anything unless we want to, but read some Edgar Allan Poe.
What's it called, Alan?
October.
Oh, yeah.
3rd annual.
Yeah. Woohoo! You guys got together last year for that, didn't you? You and Ray.
Yeah. We visited Edgar Allan Poe's gravesite. Then we went to Richmond. That was in Baltimore. Then Richmond to his like museum, and they have a
The Poe
nice,
Museum.
yeah, the Poe
Yeah.
Museum interactive like tour. Learned a lot.
I remember watching the videos. I'm envious you guys can get together like that.
Yep. I
awesome.
didn't work this summer, but
Well, Jim, how far away are you from New York City?
Oh, I'm not real sure. I'm gonna look it up. My kids have been there. I've never.
I would say that's the closest. Now, one of the odd things, Elizabeth at Bookings and Books said Montreal might also be a possibility.
Yeah, I've been to Montreal. Montreal's beautiful.
You're 730 kilometers from New York.
What's it? Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
What's that? What's that in hours?
Mark,
7.5 hours.
Yeah, that's not bad. You know, I mean, to meet up with some booktubers for a long weekend or something.
But you're very close to Buffalo.
Yeah. Buffalo. Yeah, I'm down at. I could. It's an hour's drive to Niagara Falls from here, from Hamilton.
Falls. I've been there several times.
Yeah.
It's a magical place.
Then across the border, so it's 7.5 hours, Mark. Really, 730 kilometers from New York City, huh? But yeah, one of these days, maybe.
And there's talk about maybe London in 2025.
Woo.
Wow, I've always wanted to go.
Next year.
So Randy,
London, Ontario.
No.
you know London, Ontario, Mark?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know it, but I know of it.
Yeah. My dad's from out that way.
Could do like a European tour in America, couldn't you? You could visit in North America, London, Ontario, Paris, Texas.
We've got
Chicago.
We've got
I
a
have family in Paris, Texas. It's not far from here. Could have a miniature Eiffel Tower there now.
Where's that?
Paris, Texas.
Oh,
hang on, sorry.
They made a movie, Paris, Texas.
Yeah, with the mountains of Texas in it. It's ridiculous.
So
Looks
apparently
absolutely nothing like the landscape out there.
you're added to the Voxer, Randy, according to MJ. You got it, Randy. And Lou says she just purchased the Everyman's Library edition of the complete Poe stories.
Excellent.
Oh, MJ goes shopping in Canada. I would go book shopping in Canada. Oh, yeah. Hey, we got some good bookstores up here.
Yeah.
London 2025, drinks will be on me. Oh, we're going to hold you to that, genre books.
Yeah, we're going to hold you.
Yeah. London 2025. That would be awesome.
I've been wanting. My wife and I have both been wanting to go to the UK. Now, what's Hay on Way, or is it?
Well, that's it. I mean, I don't know why it's London 2025. I mean, the thing is, London in the summer or whenever, it's going to be full. It's expensive. It's stinky. It's smelly.
Doesn't have to be summer.
Well, but I don't know. I mean, I'm originally from kind of there. And I mean, I appreciate people want to go there and visit for the first time to see London. But I think for an event like that, I think you're better off choosing a good town. I mean, like, as you say, go to the village of Hay on Wye. I mean, it's not the UK is not a big place. You can get from London to Hay on Wye in half the time it would take Jim to get to New York City. So,
and you got the train.
That's what I mean by train. So,
and we could meet up with Gareth and Roy.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a whole lot of UK booktubers that I would say.
Yeah.
Join us.
Yeah.
They have to find a pub that could fit us all.
Who knows? Maybe Sean could venture out of his lair.
Well, how far is Sean from London?
He's quite far.
He is quite far. All right.
Yeah, he's probably a good 4 hours by train, maybe.
Oh.
Guys, I've got to duck out.
Oh. Okay, Randy.
But I appreciate having me on.
All right. Well, Randy, we'll see you Monday night then.
I'll be here. Yes, sir.
Does 8 p.m. Eastern work for you? That'd be 7 your time?
Yes, sir. It's on the calendar.
All right.
Great to see you, buddy.
Glad about to have you on, Randy.
All right. Thank y'all. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
that's,
Hay on Rye, I always thought that was in Wales, isn't it?
It is
No,
in
It
Wales.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But
What is it though?
Aaron
Actually,
Baker in Wales, and
Hay
Yeah,
on Y. He says hay on Y.
pronounced Hay
is
on
it
Y.
on? Is it?
why?
Yeah, it is in Wales. It's
Well,
confusing because it's quite, it's quite near the border. So
I see.
Hi, Constance. Constance
Hey,
Campbell.
Constance.
Hey, Catherine.
Lou saying bye to Randy, and MJ saying hi to Constance. Yeah, no, that would be a once in a lifetime trip for me. That would be amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, we don't have anyone. Mark, you might know. When would be the best time to visit the UK? I know my wife said, oddly enough, for us, it would actually be Thanksgiving week because the airfare is actually cheaper because people in the US are not going to the UK for Thanksgiving. Now, obviously, there's probably a lot of US people who would not want to do it that weekend. But
Right.
well, I mean, the thing with the UK, you can never. I mean, the weather is obviously a factor for a lot of people, and you can never really predict it. It's an island, although it doesn't rain as much as everybody thinks it does. Rome is a wetter city than London. It's true. But I think, the last couple of times I did go back, and we were quite lucky, was May in terms of weather. But in England, you want to avoid, obviously, any kind of school holidays where possible. So, at least half-term breaks with their week off in, I think, like October and whatever, because that usually can push up prices and stuff. But, if you're just going with your wife and you don't care too much about the weather, then I think Thanksgiving would be all right as a weekend to go. But, it doesn't have to be that expensive these days either to go to the UK. If you book in advance and whatever, I think you can get really good deals. So,
Yeah, that would be nice. Well, we'll all come out to the Czech Republic and visit you.
well, there you go.
Any bookstores out there that are handy?
Well, Andy,
Yeah.
no.
No.
like right here, no. We could shop on the internet, I guess. But no, I mean, in Prague, yeah, there are like maybe 3 dedicated English bookshops, for example. But you wouldn't. I mean, most Czech bookshops will have, of course, an English section, but nothing like, of course, the variety. I think the Globe bookstore is the most famous foreign bookshop in Prague. It was started by an American just after the revolution in, I think, probably 1990. He did it, and it's also like a cafe. Where they serve like American, food and stuff, and then a bookshop tacked on, and they have like, poetry Thursdays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I appreciate, obviously, from like a book crawl point of view, then then Prague isn't a good choice unless you obviously speak Czech. But
Yeah. Well, how many did you visit, Greg, in Philadelphia? There was like 4 or 5 of them.
I visited 6.
Six of them. Yeah. Yeah. All within a fairly close distance.
Relatively, we did do some heavy walking.
Yeah.
And there's more bookstores in Philadelphia than we got to. There's a lot that I wanted to see, but they were like 5 miles away, or what? Not maybe 5, but 3 miles or something like that. Too far to walk.
I think you said you Ubered it in one instance.
In one instance, we Ubered it. I don't know. It's probably like $9. So it would really add up if you Ubered to every bookstore you wanted to go to.
Yeah. Well,
did you see the Rocky statue?
Not this trip. I saw it last December when we went. My wife wanted to go see their they have a Christmas like market, and we went out there, and I saw the Rocky statue. I wasn't really all that impressed with the Rocky statue, to be honest.
So you didn't run up the steps, singing
I
a tiger.
So I walked up the steps, but I did not run up them.
It's funny because the town where my parents live in England is just opened an independent bookshop, I guess maybe almost a year ago. But it's quite funny because I noticed quite a few booktubers and people who connected with booktube are kind of following them. Yeah, and it's funny because it's like a pretty small town, so it's kind of interesting they're getting their word out there. I mean, he's lucky that his name is Sherlock. I think it's Luke Sherlock. So he's got like the shop is called like Sherlock and Pages. So he's lucky he's got that kind of name automatically for his thing. But yeah, it's kind of funny to see.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you know, we have a couple bookshops near us that I go to, but nothing outstanding. Not a place you'd want to visit. I mean, you'd have to go pretty far afield to visit some nice bookshops. You know. There's a couple I go to, but they're just your standard little hole in the wall thing, and you don't get a huge variety.
Yeah,
and Toronto used to have an awesome bookstore called the World's Biggest Bookstore. That wasn't a used bookstore though, so that kind of I'm talking about used bookstores. Really, I mean I prefer them over new bookstores. I don't know about you guys.
I don't read a lot of new releases.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm the same. A lot of booktubers do. That's what they base their channel on is all the new books coming out, but I'd just rather read an old book.
Yeah, I know there's so many that like follow prizes and they get excited every year when whatever prize they like is announced their long list and they decide, am I going to read the long list?
You got 8 hours on I-90 to go to that book barn in Connecticut, Jim.
Oh, the one that Dave was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. MJ says that the greater Philly area has 46 indie bookstores.
That's just amazing.
That's awesome.
We really only scratched the surface.
No, you're only 7 hours, 30 minutes to Philadelphia.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. If you're going for a long weekend or something, if you're making a long weekend of it, that would be well worth the trip.
Well, yeah, because you could stop somewhere, and I think it's not too bad to do 4 hours or 3 hours over 2 days.
Well, how would you get there? Yeah. Would you drive, or would you take the train? Or
well, I would drive. My wife would tell me we should take the train, but I like to drive. I enjoy driving, and I like the independence of having my own vehicle once I'm there. I mean, right. You can always rent a car, but
a break, guys. The art director needs me to let him in the art room. I just have to go downstairs and come back out.
Oh, okay, Alan.
The only thing, Jim.
Yeah.
I was looking at it. Like parking in Philadelphia is like $50 a day.
Yeah. See, that's the problem. Yeah. Last time I was in Toronto, like over a decade ago, it was like $30 a day, and I'm sure it's like comparable to that now, first of all, to find a decent parking spot,
right,
and then to pay for it. So yeah, it would be smarter to take the train.
I mean, for us, it was like $8 a day to park.
Yeah.
The train, and then I don't even know. I think it was like $60 for each of us. Take the train, so like relatively cheap.
Yeah.
Now, for me, it was like under 3 hours to take the train, so it's really not that hard.
That's not bad. It's less stressful. Just sit on the train, you can read a book and take it easy. But
you're not so far from like Detroit or Cleveland. I mean, they probably, they're decent sized cities. They probably have quite, good bookshops and stuff, no?
I imagine so. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been down. I went down to Florida years and years ago when I was in my 20s. And yeah, Detroit and Cleveland are just across the border from.
Now, Jim, what's the big city right across from Detroit in Canada?
Sarnia? Is it not Sarnia? I should know this. I've forgotten. I went blank.
I don't know, but when I was working for Borders Books, there was a huge bookstore in that city. And we used to go to them for international books. Like if we had a customer who wanted to buy this book that's only available in France, we could go to this Canadian bookstore and they could get them much cheaper then we could go directly to France and order them. I don't know if that bookstore's still around. It was called South Shore.
God, so many bookstores
There
closed down.
There is a Sarnia.
Sarnia, I think it's Sarnia, right?
I
It's
thought
it's
I
an
thought it was
industrial
up
town
below.
like Detroit, and it's right across the way.
I mean,
from
London is not far. London,
Yeah.
Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems Sarnia is right on the border. Yeah.
I guess it's the Providence of Ontario, right?
Province of Ontario. Yeah.
Because that's probably where I'm getting this O in my mind. I mean, that was like back in the early '90s. So
Yeah. Yeah, Ontario's a big province. You know, you guys are all divided up into little states, but our provinces are like
you got what, 7 or 6?
provinces?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's more than that.
I think it's 7 provinces and 2 territories or something.
And then we have to, yeah, something like that. I should know that as a Canadian. I'm ashamed of myself.
What are they? Quebec, Ontario.
Well, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario. Then you've got Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, Northwest Territories. So yeah,
The Yukon.
the Yukon's American though, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is the Yukon in Alaska? No, I thought
Yeah,
Well,
Yukon.
Alaska's
I thought
American.
Yukon was Alaska.
Yeah, I know Alaska
Yukon
is.
territory.
I don't know why I thought. No, it's Canadian. Yukon is a Canadian territory.
Yukon territory. You're right.
Yukon is
You're
smallest and westernmost of Canada's 3 territories.
Yeah.
Yeah, because White Horse, that's the place where they got the drink with the toe in it, isn't it? Drink it fast or drink it slow, but whatever way, your lips have got to touch the toe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
You've never heard of the toe in the drink that people go there to try? Uh-huh.
No.
All right.
So I gotta go. I see Gareth's here. Let me go through some comments here. Aaron, whoops, fell down a well looking up at the occult mystery reading suggestions. Yep. Yeah, Aaron. Pulp Fiction, Windsor. It's Windsor. Yeah, thank you. I don't know why the hell I went blank on that. Windsor is the city across from Detroit. Thank you.
And I was born and raised in Toledo, so I've been there at Windsor. You can go under the river or over a bridge.
Yeah. Hello, Gareth.
Hey,
Gareth.
You missed Randy. Oh, thanks, Gareth. Yeah, see? Gareth noticed my t-shirt.
I noticed that right off.
I got 2 of them. And 2 for my wife as well. I ordered. So, yeah. Genre says, I think someone just tricked Mark into drinking something with a toe in it.
That sounds like a rugby thing.
No, it's real. It's what the hell's the name of the place? I'm gonna have to look it up now.
I know, man. He ranged from Kent. Hey, laddie, oh.
All I know is when I was a kid, I quit my job. I jumped on a bus to go out to Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, and going across Manitoba or whatever. At nighttime was the longest freaking ride ever. Like it's just long, no trees, just flat land.
Mm.
Yeah, here you go. I wasn't dreaming. The sour toe cocktail is practically a rite of passage for visitors to Dawson City, Yukon. It's a simple drink, a shot of whiskey, usually Yukon Jack, with an unusual accompaniment, a mummified human toe.
A mummified toe.
What's this called? What's this drink called?
The sour toe cocktail.
Greg wants one.
Something right out of Jack London.
It said in the 1920s, the rum-running Lincoln brothers, Louis and Otto, got caught in a blizzard. Louis put his foot through a patch of ice and soaked his foot. When the brothers got back to their cabin, Lou's right foot was frozen solid. To prevent gangrene, Otto used his axe to chop off Louis's toe. He placed the toe in a jar of alcohol to commemorate the event.
Well, I've got a monkey toe.
Oh, really? In 1973, legend has it Captain Dick Stevenson found the jar and the toe in a remote cabin. He came up with the idea of the Sour Toe Cocktail Club, an exclusive club with 1 membership requirement. In order to gain admittance to the club, potential members must drink the legendary Sour Toe cocktail. There's just 1 rule. You can drink it fast, you can drink it slow, but your lips must touch the gnarly toe. And apparently,
The same toe from drink to drink.
well, no, maybe not now, because it said in 2013, one man swallowed the toe on purpose, and he was run out of town.
Really?
Oh my God! Now I don't feel so well.
Now you got to get another toe volunteer.
Thanks for the hug, Gareth. Back at you.
Gareth says, Mark, it's great to have you back on here, mate. Yeah, it is. It's
Matter
been a long
what,
time.
where you go, you got to drink that sour toe.
There you go, man. We should have drinks with us next week, and we
Now wait a second. You need Gareth here to turn that into a song.
Yeah,
and he could post it on his channel as an original sourdough song or whatever.
I think I'd like to warm up with some like absinthe first,
Absinthe.
and then move on to the sourdough.
Do they even have absinthe anymore?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Do they?
Yeah.
Or what am I thinking? Laudanum or something? Something they don't have anymore.
I don't know. Wormwood.
I don't know. Was absinthe illegal for a while?
I thought it was.
I thought it was too.
Yeah. That's the green drink, right? It's like green.
Right.
Yeah.
The Green Fairy.
Green Fairy. Yeah, it's very popular here. Actually, it was, and it was also, of course, the drink that Van Gogh was on when he cut off his ear.
Oh. Give you
Could have pickled the
hallucinations.
ear. We could have had the sour ear cocktail as well.
Oh man.
I'm just looking at the actual toe, and it's pretty grim. It just looks, honestly, it looks like a piece of dog poop.
Really?
I'm looking at a picture. It is. If you showed me a picture of it, I would not have guessed a toe. But now looking at it, I can sort of see it's all black and gnarly and.
It's got like a tater
Well,
tot.
That's like in a bottle of tequila where you got to eat the
show
worm.
people if Jim adds it to the conversation,
Who's that? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
so you can see what it looks like there.
Oh my
boy.
God.
And that's the guy's actual toe.
Well, I don't know. I mean, but the scary thing for me is if that toe is the same toe after the guy passed it through his digestive system when he swallowed it on purpose. I don't know.
Sheesh.
Pretty grim.
Pretty grim, that's for sure.
Who's hungry?
Lou says hard pass on the sourdough cocktail. Yeah, no kidding.
I have a sour patch kid.
Oh,
Huh.
Yeah, it's
I like
not
those.
as bad as a toe.
What else said had the rhythm of Don't Drink the Yellow Snow by Zappa.
yeah.
Oh, MJ knows all about absinthe.
Ah,
From
sure.
her misspent youth, I imagine. Yes, it was illegal. Green Fairy. About 20 years ago, it started making a comeback. I think my son's had it. My oldest boy, Steven, I think he said he's had it somewhere.
No, why is it illegal? Is it really high alcohol content?
Doesn't it like give you? It's like a drug. It gives you hallucinations or something. I think.
Well, to be honest, it's very unusual to actually find the real stuff. But yeah, it can be quite psychedelic. Yeah. But I mean, when you drink it, because I when I first had it, it was probably late 90s. But as I say, here it was always quite popular in Prague, and they still have absinthe shops. But you're supposed to drink it after you kind of sift it through sugar cubes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've seen it in movies, like Victorian movies. It was very popular, and that's what they would do.
But it's one of those things that I've just got to smell it, and I want to vomit now. It's just.
Oh, I'm like that with tequila.
Mm.
One bad experience will do it for me. Never again.
I still like drinking tequila.
Do you?
I go to Mexico on a resort. I always end my meal with a shot of tequila.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't tried it in a long time, so maybe I should try it again.
And I've never encountered a worm.
No, well, only certain bottles.
Yeah, mezcal.
brands.
I've eaten the worm a couple times before, sure.
Ate the worm. Uh-huh.
I ate the worm. What I eaten the worm?
Now, it's pretty concentrated as well, like the worm. Like it's been in the alcohol forever, so it's pretty potent, right? From what I understand,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I don't remember having any real effects I mean, I was
Got a high tolerance, though, Alan.
Ate it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, I drank some liquor made from snakes, yeah, in Hong Kong. That was
Really?
quite interesting. Yeah.
From like the snake venom or the.
Honestly, I don't know, because we went hunting for a restaurant that served snake, and we came across this snake soup place, and it was such a dodgy place, and they had all sorts of weird alcohol full of like different fermenting animals. Yeah, they had the worst.
There was a Western that I read that someone threw rattlesnakes in the whiskey, and I can't remember exactly the book it was from, but they were talking about you threw rattlesnakes in the whiskey.
Yeah, but in this place they had like, I don't know, like dead rat fetuses pickled in like, you know. But anyway, the woman, I remember she brought out the soup, and I have to say, actually, despite the fact the whole place was like a bit dirty and dodgy looking, it did taste kind of nice. It wasn't that bad. And then she brought out what she said was snake liquor, but I don't know if she had like a medical problem, like some kind of palsy, because she had like the shakes. But we kept thinking the whole time that it was probably from, like years of exposure to snake bites or some shit. Yeah, because I've got it on video actually. I could probably put it on my YouTube channel one day. And she's like pouring it like this, and we're all, my friend picks it up. He's like, oh, it's okay. And it kind of tasted like sherry, actually.
I read a Western one time where a dead dog was found in a still, I mean, and all they did is take the dog out and continued making the whiskey.
Yeah.
The good old days.
But here you get like these fruit hard liquors like Slivovitzer, which is made from plums, or Hrškovica, which is made from pears, and some of the brands actually have the fruit in it, and of course at the end you can eat, but it's just so strong, the taste of the alcohol and the fruit at the end is like,
Yeah. So Lou says From Hell. Yeah, the movie From Hell. I think he was addicted to absinthe. I think the character from that movie. MJ likes tequila. Oh, Jim's book.
Hey, Jim.
Jim's books reading and stuff. Hey, how's it going? MJ saying hi. And he'll be having tequila to celebrate my 60th. Wow. Alan's 60. I'll be 60 in December.
I'll be 60 7th. In October.
Yeah.
I'll be 60 in July. 2040.
Rub it in.
This be going on 16 for me. If you don't grow up by the time you're 45, you don't have to. So that
the wine. He says the wine producers got absinthe banned in France because it was too popular at the end of the 19th century. That's when it had its heyday back then, for sure.
I think Dylan Thomas drank a lot of absinthe.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
Oh, and Keanu Reeves is 62. Can you believe that? Wow.
Elvis.
So your birthday's in October, Greg?
Yep.
October what?
Oh, should I say? Oh, the 26th.
26th. On December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm December 27.
Oh.
Yeah. My mother was 26. I was born at 2:04 a.m. We almost share the same birthday, but it sucks being a Christmas baby.
I guess it would, yeah. I mean, December 7th is far enough from Christmas where it was never a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But talking about drinking, man, the comment section just blew up.
Yeah. Huh.
Y'all are just pups. Oh. We're just pups.
Well, thanks. I like to hear that. Yeah, my dad's 82 in Scottsdale, area, Arizona. He's more active than I am. He's hosting a big Labor Day party, you know, and going to Cleveland. He's got a girlfriend and that. I mean, I believe they're platonic because they're Christian and that, you know, so they have to get married probably, but none of my business. They've already went on trips. They came up and visited me last summer, but he's doing real well.
That's good. Yeah. We can only hope, eh? At 82,
Yeah.
we're still spry and healthy. You know, if you don't have your health, man, you know, you don't have anything.
Sure.
Honestly. So Sandra Bullock and Brad Pitt, 62. I knew that. And Gareth says, are you planning anything for your birthday yet, Greg?
I don't think so. The weekend before, we're visiting or going out with some neighbors to a some sort of resort in West Virginia.
Oh, nice.
My wife's playing cards with them. I'm just gonna go walk in the West Virginia mountains and have fun. So,
And that'll be, that sounds like perfect birthday to me.
mm-hmm.
I never made a big fuss over my birthday.
I tell my wife, you know, you don't have to get me anything. Just, you know,
You probably guys go out to your Thai place or something.
Yeah, what I usually say, if we're gonna go out to eat, there's a German restaurant that I really like.
Oh,
It's a little pricey, but you know, you get a really good schnitzel, and you get a good German beer.
Yeah,
And that feels like a reward enough. Because honestly, whenever I want something, I just go out and buy it. I don't have to wait for someone to give me something.
It's like, the little things like that make it worthwhile.
Do you?
Pardon?
You like schnitzels, do you?
I love Jaeger schnitzel.
Oh, you're gonna have to come here, man. We've got loads of schnitzels here, and mushrooms.
Yeah.
But they do it. It's like they're mad on it here. They, you know, any Eastern Europe and whatever, they all go out mushrooming. You know,
I love mushrooms. I mean, seriously, I have some. I like salads and spaghetti. I
do like the Czech beer though, Mark. I got those three Czech beers a while back. I think I sent you a picture. Now I forget what they are. I'm gonna have to look for them again. Yeah. But the one was really good. I think it was your favorite one, and I really enjoyed that.
There was a German restaurant in Washington State that I went to, and they imported Czech beer in the bottles, and one of them was like 11% alcohol or something.
Wow.
It might not be 11% alcohol. They have quite a confusing system here. They have what they call, obviously, the percentage in alcohol, but they also have something called degrees. So you buy like, you know, I don't know, Kozel 10 degrees, 11 degrees, or 12 degrees. Yeah. And maybe it does have a different, slightly alcohol content, but it's not usually, the degree does not equal the percent. If that makes sense.
There's also like another quotient, like the BTU or something, like the bitterness quotient or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're mad for beer up here in Portland.
They're mad for beer everywhere, Alice.
Yeah, we have the most micro breweries of any city in per capita.
We've got all kinds of independent breweries around here too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have one across the street.
There's a restaurant, actually a couple restaurants we go to, and they have their own brand of beer. Like there's a place called the Thirsty Cactus, and they have a cactus lager, but they have a local independent brewery make it up, and it's actually really good. It's it actually has a bit of a tang to it, like that makes you think of a cactus, right? And it's really good beer, and a lot of these independent breweries, they do such a good job,
Whenever I travel, and I'm at a restaurant, I said, "What are your local beers?" It's because I think sampling local beers, they're not always great.
Yeah,
but it's a good experience just to see what the beers like are across the country or the countries.
And you never know unless you're going to try. I mean, if you try it, it might be the best beer you've ever had. You never know until you try.
Well, one of the beers I had in Philadelphia was another 11% beer. And again, it's like he said it wasn't quite local, but I really enjoyed it. It's just like, because you're having one beer and all of a sudden it's like, it's the equivalent of like 3 beers. Or
Yeah,
not,
you feel it?
almost 3.
Huh.
So Olga Corbett. I was just reading that Olga Corbett moved to Scottsdale, Arizona. Jim's books. Jim said.
Who's
I don't know
Olga
who that
Corbett?
is. I don't know.
She was a gymnast in the
I was in
Olympics,
love
right?
with her back in the day when
80s.
the Olympics were on. I was a kid. I fell in love with her.
Oh, the only one I remember is Nadia Comaneci.
Oh yeah, that's who I meant, Jim.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
who you're talking about.
Olga was like more paler. Nadia had black hair. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's who I meant.
What
But,
about who was the one at the American? What's her name? Mary.
Lou Retton
Mary Lou Retton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
with a bob haircut. But
Yeah, like from
Scottsdale's a cool
Mom and
city.
Apple Pie.
By that time, I was a little too old to go. Oh, she's 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scottsdale is the most western city. They have a big cowboy and a big banner that says the most western city.
Huh.
Cool town.
You're absolutely right, Gareth. Always do something different to celebrate another trip around the sun. Yeah. We made it this far. You got to celebrate for sure. You're hearty and healthy. Have all your limbs.
Yeah. I like
All my
buying
toes.
presents, like especially people who think they have everything, like my father, like Greg, and try to surprise them somehow.
Georgia, Jim says Georgia's famous for wine. It is the birthplace for wine. Archaeological evidence has been found
Yeah.
that wine dating back 8,000 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard that from you, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know much about wine. So that's an interesting thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy wine. You know, like I went through a period I just drank white wine because James Joyce, that's all he drank.
Well, I
But
enjoy wine a lot more now. When I was a kid, I never enjoyed, younger, I never enjoyed wine, but I enjoy wine now. And red wine too. Red wine, no, it's not my thing, but now I really enjoy red wine.
Oh yeah, I like Merlot. Or I used to.
Depending on what you're eating too, right? It just makes a whole different experience.
Yeah, different buzz too.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know if you guys want to go till the top of the hour, or you want to sign off now.
Let's finish up. Let's finish up at 2 hours and then call it quits. How many people have we got in the chat room?
14.
Oh, that's still pretty good.
That's still pretty good. It started out.
Let's go to 2 hours.
Yeah, sounds good to me. And Jim says our tastes change. I used to hate olives. I was just talking to my wife about this the other day. When I was a kid, I hated olives, but now like I can't get enough of them. And it's weird. It's weird how your tastes change like that. You know.
Well, I don't like spicy like salsa like I used to. There's a little joint called Dave's Hot Chicken here, and I can barely do like the medium. But and even salsa, I just get medium. But I used to get the hot stuff, and 20 plus years in Arizona.
I don't know. Spicy stuff I never used to like it because it covers up the taste, I thought. But I like spicy now. What has Mark got there?
Beer.
You got
Local beer.
A growler, they call those. A growler, I mean.
No, they're not like, they just got bottle tops on them, but.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
yeah, I was trying to see what the. This one's 12%. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
After gum shit.
I'm gonna give a shout out to my wife. Tomorrow's her birthday, so happy birthday, Lila.
Oh, happy birthday, Lila.
Yeah.
21 again.
21 again.
This one's 13%.
So where did you get these, Mark?
Oh, they were a gift for doing something or other.
Oh, nice.
I have to say, it doesn't sound very appetizing, does it? Where it says, like, I don't know if you can see what it says on there. Motherland. So,
how many ounces is that?
It's 0.75 of a liter. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Thank you, Lou.
So I know somebody who likes spicy things.
Guess it's about just more than a pint, is it? Oh Christ! This one's 15%.
Wow.
You got some good beers, Mark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with beers here for sure. You know, and the cost as well. I don't know how much you pay for beer in America or Canada, but you know, you're gonna pay. Well, in somewhere like here, you're probably gonna pay like $1.50.
Oh, no, it's
for a poured beer in a pub.
Yeah, it depends on the beer. Like when you go into the beer store here, you can buy them separately or you can buy them in cases, and the prices will vary per beer. You could get one for $1.50, or you could buy an imported one for like $3.50. Just depends.
For single beer, $8 or $9.
Beer prices here are crazy. It's like if I go to like a Thai restaurant and they have a Thai beer called Sing Ha. It's like 12 ounces, you know. It's $6 or $7. I'm going.
When you go to a restaurant for sure,
and they're same at restaurants because a lot of them are getting the same bottle of beer. Sometimes you get a draft beer; it's like $1 cheaper, but still, when you're sitting down, you go, "Do I really want to spend $6 for a 16-ounce drink?" You know.
Well, for a cocktail, it's like $8-9 here. You know?
Well, there's no tax here. No sales tax in Oregon.
No what?
Sales tax.
Sales tax.
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends on what kind of joint you go into as well. You know, if you go to a high-end restaurant and they don't want guys sitting there drinking beer and knocking them back, so they'll mark them up. So you're not going to go there to get drunk. You're going to go elsewhere, you know? So it depends on where you go too, right?
Well, see, Jim, maybe that's my problem. I don't go to the lower end bars.
You're missing out then, Greg. So
I just shared a screen with you. I don't know how it works out. I mean, this is one of the local supermarkets, so this is per bottle. I guess the cheapest one here is 790 Czech crowns for one bottle. And I guess in US dollars, what does it say? Does it even? Probably it's probably even too low in US dollars. So, I don't know, because that's like 27. So it's probably about, what is that? I don't know, 35 cents a bottle.
Oh, man!
Wow,
outrageous.
It's cheaper than water. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'd be raging alcoholic.
Mark, is it good beer? Is it really horse piss beer?
You know, it's mixed, I guess.
You get what you pay for.
This one's all right. The first one, the Gambrinus one, the really cheap one. I can't actually see who makes that one, but you know, it's all drinkable. Certainly, this 11. Excellent's quite good. This old Czech one's quite good. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I certainly haven't drunk anything like you know, the amount what do you call it? You know, I probably haven't even hit, you know, 20% of the number of breweries and stuff, in terms of what they got here. But it's probably quite a lot. I'm actually quite curious how many breweries they've got here.
Look, Mrs. Mystery and Mayhem just made an appearance. She goes, "Hi, boys, turning 60. Jim, you told me you were turning 50. I'll have to trade you in for 2 30-year-olds. Yeah. We'll see.
So we got 600, actually. 600 breweries here.
Oh,
600. Wow.
It's between 10 million people. It's quite a lot, isn't it? So
yeah. Well, it's more of it seems to be more of a European tradition. So I imagine it'd have a lot more breweries over there and take it more seriously than they do over here, you know?
Well, I mean, of course, some of them are really, really old as well, aren't they? I mean, you know,
yeah.
I mean, the oldest brewery here is pretty old, actually. I can't remember how old is it.
St. James
It goes
Gate.
back hundreds of years.
Yeah.
St. James Gate in Dublin, which is Guinness, that's like 1749, I think.
Well, this is the oldest still functioning brewery is the Brevnov Monastery Brewery in Prague, and it was founded in 993.
Oh, you.
Wow.
So,
Of course,
Yeah, and the secret is the monkey toe. The monkey toe.
but the process, I imagine, was so different back then.
well, sometimes they did it because they couldn't, of course, drink the water.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it started, right? Because the water would kill you, so they had to do that process. But they'd use different things than hops and yeast. They'd throw in a whole bunch of different other things as well.
Well, there was mead as well, which was quite popular in the day.
Honey wine.
Yeah, Guinness is good for you.
Yeah, good iron.
They have posters back in the day of like pregnant Guinness posters with pregnant women. Guinness is good for you, like the iron in it and shit.
Yeah.
Hey, back in the day, little kids could drink beer too. You know.
Yeah.
They'd give them a little glass of beer for the kid to drink.
Well,
yeah.
Germany, the drinking age is much younger, isn't it?
What here?
Now
they have one.
18 here.
Oh, is it?
But in Belgium, and I think even in Germany, it's 15. Yeah, for beer and wine.
Wow.
For spirits, it's more. But yeah.
Yeah, I started drinking pretty young. Randy with you too. Randy's missing it. Randy's been sober 10 years.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah,
he's open about it.
Yeah. So Georgia uses more grape varieties than France, so there are many different tastes. Jim knows his stuff. I didn't drink alcohol before coming to Georgia. Well, there is water in beer, so why not?
Yeah.
But you're right.
I'm gonna have to go, fellas. I'm gonna have to take Elvis out.
Yeah.
I'm a bit scared to see, though, because, like, you know, I showed you the view before. As I say, I can show you now. It's literally
it's dark.
Nothing. Yeah. It's just a reflection of me. There's literally nothing.
Man, be careful out there. Be
careful, Mark. The wolves and the headless rabbits. And
there's no light there whatsoever.
No, nothing.
The headless hair.
Watch out for the wolves.
That's it. At least I'm taking my own wolf out with me. There seems to be.
Do you take a gun with you when you go?
No, I don't have a license. But a lot of people here do. It's one of the highest conceal and carry countries in the world, yeah?
Wow.
Probably not less crime because of that, too.
I don't know. I mean, we don't have gun crime so much. There was a horrible shooting last year, but otherwise, almost never.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a debate for another time.
Yeah, I think it's the legacy of the communism. Yeah, there were so many guns left over afterwards. People kind of just,
Yeah. Well,
yes. Hopefully, Aaron, he will. Although I have a feeling he'd cower behind my legs and push me to the front.
He's going to the wolf. Eat him first. Eat him first.
Well, you depended on him to take you out of the forest, and he took it the wrong way. So
that's it. He really did. He was so convinced it was this fella. He must be right.
Yeah.
But it's like yesterday. It's like a little kind of local, like, I don't know, what is it, like a junkyard or something just up the road here.
Yeah.
It's not like, horrible place. And actually the guy who runs it, he's also doing my landscaping here because he's got the excavators and he's doing, really, really good job with that. But he's got 2 dogs and they're always locked up. But yesterday his dad, I guess, was doing something and they were free, like in the field next door. And Elvis went wandering over, and then suddenly, these 2 giant dogs appeared. Like they're massive, like 3 times his size. I thought, oh my God. And one of them listened to the owner, and the other one didn't. Came running over and started sniffing Elvis. And Elvis kind of just stood there like, what the hell is this giant monster?
Oh, boy.
And I was expecting, like their names to be like Killer or Bruno or something. And the guy's like, Sally, come back.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, because they're kind of young, so I don't think it was a big deal. But
yeah,
you could tell Elvis was a little bit uncomfortable though. He's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should call it, guys.
We'll call it a night.
Yeah.
Yeah, great to be back. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure.
You're welcome. Yeah, it was good. We'll have to do it again soon then.
Yes, we will.
Definitely.
Okay, everyone.
All right.
Take care. Thanks for watching.
Ciao.
See you guys later.